Hi everyone, and thanks for tuning in. My name is Sascha Block. I'm an IT architect and the author of large-scale Agile frameworks, where I explore the intersection of Agile collaboration, digital governance, and secure software development. What you're about to watch is my talk from the eulisa Industry Roundtable 2025, held in Warsaw and online under the Polish presidency of the European Union Council. My session is titled Secure by Design, Scaling Agile within and across large-scale organizations towards Trusted Digitization. And no, that's not a buzzword. It's a core challenge we all face across Europe's public sector as we move towards secure and scalable digital infrastructures. This structure, does it look familiar to you? For many of us, this is what leadership used to mean. Clear reporting lines, clear responsibilities. But here's the real challenge. Most resistance to change isn't technical, it's cultural. And that's where agility starts. Not with tools, but with how we think about leadership, trust, and ownership. Change is difficult, not because we lack the new, but because we hold on to the old-fashioned. Habit provides comfort, and we feel safe. We are humans, and we don't really like change that much, do we? But this is precisely the core of every transformation. Change does not begin in the system, but in our self-image. If we really want to live agility, we have to share control, question roles, and allow trust. And we have to lose our fear of making mistakes. Because only those who allow mistakes can make curious decisions. Always remember, shame is the little sister of great fear, and letting go of both opens up space for real growth as a person, as a team, as an organization, and far beyond. So, who do we need to become in this world of dynamic trust and digital sovereignty? Agility isn't a tool, it's a capability, the ability to act under pressure, complexity, and change. Let's make it tangible. These are the four pillars of a truly agile organization: mindset, teams, feedback, and infrastructure. And look closely. Infrastructure isn't something we add after the fact. It's a pillar. Because without secure, scalable, and interoperable IT, agility doesn't scale. So, what exactly does it take to really live agility? It's not just methods, it's inner attitudes, courage, responsibility, and trust. Because only when we understand responsibility not as a control, but as an invitation to help shape things, does trust arise. And trust leads to effectiveness. That is precisely the goal of agile organizations. Revoked. We all talk about agility, speed, and delivery. But what happens when security fails? What happens when things break? Not conceptually, but visibly. It's not just a technical issue. It's a result of missing alignment between teams, tools, and trust. That's exactly why we need to think beyond methods and start shaping resilient, secure, and scalable processes across the whole organization. So, what does secure by design actually mean when you scale? Let's talk about architecture, governance, and why size really matters when it comes to security. Need for large-scale Agile within and across large-scale organizations. Let me show you a real-world example taken from Germany's national health infrastructure, the telematic infrastructure. This screenshot shows live service monitoring data published by the responsible and coordinating public agency, the gematik. What you see here isn't just some random disruption. It's a cross-sectional breakdown of critical healthcare services over a 12-hour window. Each row here, from e-prescriptions to patient records, messaging, and insurance verification, represents a system that millions depend on daily. And all of them are tightly coupled. One weak link, like a failing access component, can ripple across the entire chain. This isn't a question of uptime metrics. This is a governance signal. It shows what happens when your architecture is built on cascades of responsibility instead of clear, decoupled ownership. Instead of robustness, you get escalation chains. Instead of resilience, you get delays. And that's why we need large-scale agility. Not just within a single organizations, but across institutional boundaries. Because large-scale systems don't fail in one place. They fail across dependencies. Support cascades are not a sign of resilience. They are a warning signal. What we need is not a cascade of support, but a system that doesn't rely on it. What do we need to large-scale trusted digitization? Let's now take a closer look at the core principles and agile infrastructure needed to enable trusted digitization at scale. Here's what it really takes to build trust at scale, step by step, from identity to collaboration. In a digital world, who you are determines what you can do. That's why identity and access management is not just a technical layer. It's a foundation of digital trust. This might look like a hacker movie scene, but it's not fiction. It's the mindset behind zero trust. Zero trust means never trust, always verify, no matter who or where. Because in a digital's first world, identities can be faked, endpoints compromised, and networks breached. And perimeter security alone is no longer enough. Zero trust strategy and trust anchor. Let's break it down. Zero trust isn't about paranoia, it's about precision. We verify identity and the device continuously, dynamically, and context-aware. This architecture principle is key. User and device must both be trusted anchors, verified separately, combined logically. From multi-factor authentication to micro-segmentation and least privilege. This is what modern, secure access should look like. The user is not the identity alone. The device matters. It's part of the trust equation. Revocation sounds bureaucratic, but it's actually your system's reflex against risk. If zero trust is the mindset, revocation is the muscle. It must kick in automatically. No sympathy for outdated credentials, lost devices, or changed roles. This red cube, that's your cyber attack, or even an insider threat, or the stolen phone, or the ex-admin, the one you forgot to revoke. Revocation means breaking the chain before it breaks you. This is August de Kerckhoffs. And yes, that's 19th century thinking. Still, he got the core of modern cybersecurity right. Security must not depend on secrecy, but on solid, transparent design. If your system breaks the moment the attacker knows how it works, it was never secure to begin with. This principle is more relevant than ever in a world of open source software, public APIs, and supply chain threats. These are your secrets, your crown jewels. Usernames, passwords, API keys, certificates. They are everywhere. Now, let me ask you this. Do you really control these artifacts within your domain with actual zero trust principles? Or are they still shared, copied, emailed, committed, and forgotten? Continuous validation. And this is where most systems still fail. Trust is still too often granted once and never checked again. But in a modern, threat-driven world, static trust is a liability. Today, we must continuously validate trust of users, devices, and systems. Just like we test, monitor, and nowadays patch too often. Trust needs a feedback loop. Agile collaboration based on information and communication. Let's get practical. If trust must be continuously validated, then every phase of the life cycle must support it. Agile collaboration is not a buzzword. It's a system of communication and feedback loops. From planning to monitoring, every iteration is a chance to test, learn, and improve trust boundaries. Security by design means we build it in, not bolt it on. Agile organization, API governance, management, and IT security. Let's zoom into the control triangle of secure API ecosystems. Governance defines the rules, but rules alone don't run your systems. We need operational management and enforced security, acting in concert. Only when governance, management, and IT security align, APIs become what they should be: strategic assets. And that means scalable, secure, and truly valuable across the organization. Agile collaboration based on information and communication. Let me ask you this. How can we build trust between organizations if we don't even speak the same language? Inter-organizational agility is not just about working faster, it's about working together. And that requires shared understanding, transparent communication, and consistent information models. And exactly that's where most transformation projects silently fail. Not in code, but in coordination, cross-functional collaboration. This is where real magic happens. Cross-functional collaboration is the living engine of agile teams. And Kaizen? That's not just lean philosophy. It's about hypothesis-driven improvement, driven by everyone, every day. Customers inspire, standards guide, processes enable, quality secures, feedback drives evolution. When all these voices connect, not compete, agility becomes more than a process. It becomes culture. Agile collaboration based on information and communication. What you see here is commonly referred to as the Spotify model. But let me be clear, names are just labels. What matters is the method. This framework visualizes how cross-functional collaboration can scale. Squads are autonomous teams. Chapters connect people with the same role. Tribes align multiple squads. And guilds foster knowledge across the organization. Spotify never claimed it as a universal model, and rightly so. But it sparked an important conversation. How do we scale autonomy without losing alignment? This isn't about copying a structure. It's about embracing the principle. Agility thrives on clear communication and shared understanding, not on titles. Agile Release Trains are not just a metaphor. They are a mindset about rhythm, coordination, and shared direction. Like in Hamburg's underground system, each train runs independently, but the system only works when timing, infrastructure, and communication align. That's exactly what Agile Release Trains enable. Synchronized development cycles, predictable release cadence, multiple teams, one mission. So yes, it's part of a large-scale Agile framework, but even more, it's a commitment to structured collaboration at scale, within an organization with multiple teams and across organizations, where one software meets a public API. Former days, just one shot. Back then, developers had one single chance. No patches, no APIs, no CI/CD, just launch day and hope it worked. API governance. Today, it's different. But here's the catch. The more APIs we expose, the more governance we need. API governance isn't bureaucracy. It's what keeps us interoperable, auditable, and secure. Because modern software is not just built, it's integrated, distributed, verified, and that only works at scale with clear rules, shared responsibility, and visible metadata. API governance. Back to today and back to scale. Let's be honest, APIs are the nervous system of modern software. But without governance, they turn into spaghetti. This isn't just about REST or RPC, it's about all APIs. From databases to hardware, from code to no code. What matters is clear rules, consistent design, and zero trust by default. API governance isn't a framework, it's the foundation for secure, scalable, maintainable systems, especially in the public sector, where interoperability, auditability, and resilience aren't nice to haves. They are non-negotiable. Large-scale Agile. Let's zoom out. This is what agility at scale really looks like. We're talking governance, product families, and cross-cutting roles, embedded in compliance, regulation, and high expectations for delivery. This is where true agility either thrives or fails. Release trains, portfolio boards, cross-product architects, embedded DevOps, design, usability, and security. Every team matters. Every interface matters. And yes, every line of code should align with product strategy. Agility isn't a framework, but a large-scale Agile framework, and its methods within supports your goals and helps you align and update your organization for the challenges of our time. It's a discipline of constant agile change, and it needs both freedom for prototyping and a clear structure for an agile organization. This talk is based on my book, Large-Scale Agile Frameworks, shaped by real transformation work across GovTech, public sector, and industry. It's for those who want to move from support cascades to agile collaboration, who believe that security, agility, and governance must go hand in hand, and who know you can't scale chaos, but you can scale clarity. And that's exactly what I've tried to capture in this book and the upcoming new release. Thank you for your attention. This was a lot, I know, but transformation rarely happens in small doses. Now I'd love to hear from you. What sparked your interest? What makes you thoughtful? Or where do you completely disagree? Let's turn this into a dialogue. Write your remarks and questions in the comments, because that's where real change begins. Let's get connected. If you believe that digital sovereignty must begin with collaboration, let's connect. Whether you're working on your agile transformation, secure software development, or digital governance, I'd love to hear your thoughts, questions, or feedback. Just scan the code or find me on LinkedIn. Let's get connected. If you believe that digital sovereignty must begin with collaboration, let's connect. Whether you're working on your agile transformation, secure software development, or digital governance, I'd love to hear your thoughts, questions, or feedback. Just scan the code or find me on LinkedIn. Your Sascha Block.